I become a disbeliever in other people, and I believe a lot more in myself. I look at the world completely differently now because I essentially disbelieve everything that comes out of everybody's mouth. I and it's not because I am, bitter. I am, hurt or any of those things. Maybe it is, but I know that there's other things that they're thinking and doing that are completely different. Most people are really quite nice to your face, right? There's only the odd person that is a little and not well adjusted that will be rude or very direct or make you feel hurtful right to your face. But I want you, the next time you interact with people, look at how they are reacting with their body, with their emotions, the language that's coming out of their mouth, all of those things. I want you to really pay attention to them. I think for a long time, I think this is where things have changed for me, where I had this desire to impress, this strong desire to impress. But one of the things I've learned with this whole Reciprocity Project, repeatedly doing the same thing in public, having nobody believe you, coming up from nothing, like literally nothing, is, and I'm not taking, I'm proud of where I began. I'm extraordinarily, um, I love my family, all of those kind of things. But I think if you were to check box everything that the world defines as success, I don't think we would be in that checkbox. I think we would be in a much different world. So I think this is why I don't believe in people, is because I've been there. I understand. I know what people are thinking and what they're going through. I think the best thing that you can ever do is stop trying to convince people. Stop trying to think that you're somehow going to change people or persuade them. And just look for people that naturally believe in who you are. And I think this is where it's really difficult, is because it may only be you that does it. And maybe many times it's not even you. You don't even believe in yourself. But I think the key thing is to look at how others are actually interacting. I think there's a really big difference in what they say and the cheap talk and all of the well wishing and all of that kind of stuff and what they actually do. And I think that's where I think I've garnered a lot of power in my life. And it's not just power, it's a perception of power. I no longer feel, or I feel less, I'm a work in progress. I feel less that I have to impress other people, that I'm somehow problematic because I'm different. I'm somehow, wrong, that I simply just walk away now. And I think partly this is often to do with how we're raised. I was raised, and I think in my family, it was the opposite. We always were sort of, we loved, we had this sort of identity of being, in the dirt, and kind of me being more on the, the working class, good job, being proud of that kind of thing. Um, but we also had this sort of feeling that other people look down on us. And I think that's pretty normal, right? I think that is extraordinarily normal to go through that. And I think that there is a lot of truth to it. I think it ultimately is very true. But I think where I have come to realize that I don't care. I can walk away. And it hurts. And I ruminate for a while when I see this. And I look at more, I don't look at what people say anymore. I don't believe them. I look at their body language. I look at their eyes. One thing that you'll notice is that people's eyes tell a big story. Look at their muscles around their eyes, what they're doing, the tension, all of those kind of things tell you a really big story about what's going on. And I think it's fascinating when you let go of needing to impress, you do your thing, whatever that thing is, and you walk away. And you be okay with that at any given moment. I think if you, and I'm working on that, right? Like this is not, I'm not like, this is never gonna like end, but I think understanding that that is a healthy part of living a good life, is being able to do that, is an important part of many parts of our life that kind of harms us, right? I think, look, why is it that people don't go on diets or don't get exercise or save or any number of different things? And used to, before I was like, oh, people just didn't know. No, they know, and they know what the right things are, but they're listening to other people too much. They're absorbing all of these voices that people are telling them this and that. Like all of these things, if you can walk away and you can take a step back and say, I'm okay, I think you could go a lot further with all of these very difficult and challenging things in your life. It's just food for thought. Don't pay attention to what people are saying. Pay attention to what they're actually communicating. And then take a step back and walk away. If you don't have that support, you don't have the feeling that you feel loved. And I know that that is a strange thing and I can't put my finger on, but it's this general aurora of positive being around you. But I encourage you to do that every day, is look for how you can feel that nice warm blanket feeling. If you don't feel it, walk away. There's a lot of cheap talk in this world. All right, take care and have a wonderful day.